Hello. This is BioTrust Nutrition Exercise and Nutrition Coach Tim Skiat, and I'm here today to talk to you about a very common question that I get that you probably have asked yourself once or twice, and that is, how do I boost my metabolism? I hear this question over and over, especially as coaching clients are getting into their 40s, 50s, and 60s and telling me that basically their metabolism is coming to a screeching halt, and what can I do to get it moving faster? And so this is an important question for not only losing body fat, belly fat, but also just maintaining metabolic health and function as we get older. So I want to talk about a few factors. First, I want to just throw out a couple statistics to you. For starters, every decade after we hit 20 years old, it's been shown that our metabolic rate decreases on average 2 to 4%. So this is an age-related thing, but fear not, you're not doomed just because age is inevitable. Alongside that decrease in metabolic rate is a 3 to 8% decrease in muscle mass every decade, starting with about 30 years old. So see that, just keep that in mind, that muscle mass tends to dropping with age as metabolic rate is, so there's a connection there. And that's why I want to dig into the factors that we can take advantage of to boost metabolism. And the first one is going to be resistance training. So basically, think about this: use it or lose it. That's going to be a mantra here. Resistance training is the #1 tool for increasing and protecting your muscle mass as you get older. And not only does resistance training increase muscle mass, which is very metabolically active, it burns calories at rest, just like every other organ in our body, but the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn. So not only does resistance training build and protect your muscle mass as you get older, it also increases this afterburn effect where you're burning more calories than you would at rest for the next 24 to 48, even 72 hours. So up to 3 days after one resistance training exercise session, you're still at an elevated metabolic rate. That's big time. The next form of exercise that I'd recommend is high intensity interval training. So interval training is basically a time efficient way to go about getting your cardiovascular exercise going instead of doing long duration, low intensity exercise. And basically you're alternating spurts of high intensity work, so like running up a hill or rowing really fast or jump roping or something along those lines, where you're getting your heart rate up for 20, 30, 45, even 45 seconds or a minute. And then you would intersperse that with short periods of rest or low activity. So maybe do 20 seconds of hard work and a minute of rest, or 1 minute of hard work and 2 minutes of rest, and you're going to repeat that depending on your fitness level, somewhere between 5 and 10 times for a workout. Just to hold on for just a second, I do want to say that if you are not currently exercising, then it's always best to check with your doctor to make sure that exercise is right for you. And also, if you don't have experience with these types of exercise, may hook up with a personal trainer at your gym or someone that you know who can teach you how to do these things in a safe way. The third component of the use it or lose it is something called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. Basically, as we get older, we just move less, not exercise specific, but also just in general. We don't fidget as much, we don't do as many chores, we don't move around the household, we're just not necessarily lazy, but we just aren't able to move as much. And so this is where the step counters come into play, your Fitbits, things like that. Setting a quota for yourself each day can kind of help you increase that NEAT. But just overall, try to move more. Dance, have fun, have fun with life. But park farther away at the grocery store. Every hour or so, get up and do some lunges, or just walk around the house. At lunchtime, take a walk around the block or around the neighborhood at work, what have you. In addition to exercise, diet also plays a significant role in metabolism. So with regard to diet, one of the first things that you can do is make sure you're optimizing your protein intake. Protein burns a lot of calories. Your body burns a lot of calories to digest, absorb, utilize it. In fact, protein takes about 3 to 6 times more calories to process than fats or carbs. So protein essentially boosts the metabolism, and studies show that when you replace carbs with proteins, for instance, and even at the same calorie level, you tend to see better weight loss profiles. Another advantage of protein intake is that protein protects our muscle mass too. So in addition to exercise, especially resistance exercise, protein works hand in hand to protect our muscle mass. If we're not eating enough protein, then we're going to lose muscle mass over time. So resistance training and protein intake are two of the most important factors that you can follow or take into account to protect your muscle mass and metabolism. Another nutrient or type of food that you can eat to boost metabolism are omega-3 fats. So these are the types of fats found especially in fatty fish that actually have been shown to increase metabolic rate and increase energy expenditure during exercise as well as fat burning. So omega-3 fats, the best sources are going to be fish, fatty fish. And when we're talking about finding fish, you want to find fish that are high in omega-3s as well as low in mercury and sustainably caught. A few examples that come to mind are wild salmon, Pacific sardines, rainbow trout, herring, and Atlantic mackerel. So those are a few choices that you could eat 2, maybe 3 times a week to make sure you're getting plenty of omega-3s. A third nutrient that has a metabolism boosting effect is going to be resistant starch. So this is a very special type of carbohydrate that's found in certain foods that your small intestine doesn't digest, and it transfers on to your large intestine where gut bacteria can ferment it and use it as fuel. But resistant starch has been shown to increase metabolic rate, increase fat burning, decrease fat storage, just a cornucopia of awesomeness in resistant starch. You'll find resistant starch in foods like green, unripe bananas, so it's important that they're not ripe, but they have to be green, unripe bananas. And then foods like potatoes and rice and beans that have been cooked and then cooled. The resistant starch forms after those foods have been cooled. So you could bake a potato, for instance, and let it cool, and that would be a good source of resistant starch. But if you eat it while it's hot, that starch hasn't had the chance to convert to resistant and would be absorbed like any other form of dietary starch. So a fourth type of nutrient or food that you can eat to boost metabolism are medium chain triglycerides, or MCTs for short. MCTs are most abundant in foods like coconut and coconut oil, but they can also be found to some extent in dairy-based foods, full-fat dairy. So your butters, your yogurts, Greek yogurt, things like that would have some MCTs, but coconut oil will be your most copious source of MCTs, and MCTs have been shown to boost metabolism, increase fat burning, and they also have an effect on the appetite where they can make you feel more satiated, which ultimately is going to reduce the amount of food you bring in. So combined increased metabolic rate with decreased food intake, and there's a good chance there's going to be some fat loss. So I hope that you found this helpful, and maybe you can put some of these tools to use right away. But I also want to share a report that we wrote with you that you can use that follows along these lines. It's called 8 Metabolism Boosting Foods, and you'll find a link either in the video or below the video where you can download the report. All you have to do is give your email address, and we'll send the report to you by email. So you just want to check your email within 30 to 60 minutes, and that's where the report will be. It's just going to dive into some more specific foods that you can eat to get that metabolism boosting effect. Also, after you opt in for the free report, you will be taken to a video page where you can watch a video about one of our products. Completely optional, don't need to watch it, but we think it's beneficial. We wouldn't be putting these supplements out there if we didn't think they were great. But anyway, just wanted to let you know that so that you're aware of what's coming through the process. Having said all that, I hope that you found this to be very informative. Hopefully you can put some of these tools to use, like I said, and get your metabolism going. Get it cranking, feel great, and lose some of that fat. And if you have any questions, or if you think anyone can benefit from this video, please like and share it, and then drop a comment below, and we'll make sure that we answer and coach you up. Okay, have a great day.